Okay, so first let me show the functionality of the app first. So then if I delete something, I refresh, it works. And I want to put it to the trash, it works. I want to add something, it works. The autocomplete works as well. Yeah, and I can delete from the button. I can right, if it's like a invalid, it's invalid. Then um, I can submit the enter button as well. Again, everything works. Here's the welcome page. I can navigate to the log sales. It still saves, right? I can drag everything. Okay, so then moving on to the code. Let's start with the JavaScript, most important part. So again, this part just essentially initializes everything. This is pretty similar to like the previous homework. It uses like the data passed from like the initial sales and initial clients from like Flask, and it sets up like the jQuery UI, and establishes like all the event handlers for the like submission, as you can see. Okay, so then the first function, a display sales list function. What it essentially does is that it renders the sales data in the UI, it clears existing sales list, then it creates HTML elements for each cell record, it applies the draggable behavior for each row, and it adds the delete button handlers. This is obviously not an Ajax function, it just sets up the whole display. Then the save cell, this is an AX process. So what this function does is that its purpose is to send a new sale to the server. So then the parameters, it takes the salesperson, the client, and the number of reams. Um, then the AJAX process, it sends the post to the dash save cell route, and then it converts the object to a JSON. And then on success, it deletes the sales list and autocomplete data. Then the delete sale, again, it just does the inverse. It routes it to this route. The delete sale, it sends a post request, turns it into a JSON. If the input is valid, then it will delete it, and then it will just render it onto like the and it'll just display like the new sales list with like like the deleted one gone. Okay, so those are the main functions. So these are my helper functions that I wrote. Okay, so the first one, the handle submission, its purpose is to process the form of submission. It puts clear error messages, it validates all the input fields, it resets it if it has to, and if all the inputs valid, then it sends it to the server. Yeah, again, like the validate input, it's like it's used in this function, right? This is a helper of the helper function, if that makes sense. Then the clear messages, again, like this is also used here. It just clears everything for like the next attempt so that it just looks prettier. And then the setup drag and drop, again, it just configures the drag and drop deletion functionality. It makes the trash area a drop target. It provides visual feedback when dragging over the trash, and then it triggers the delete sale function when an item is dropped. Okay, so then moving on to the server. So again, all of this just initializes everything, like how it was in like the previous homework. Yeah, and then this is obviously like the root route. This takes you to the like the welcome.html part. This is the infinity route. Again, this just like renders like the log sales.html, which is like like the table for all of the sales. Pretty self-explanatory. Then this is the save sale route. Again, right? The AJAX process sends a post, and then it gets brought here because this is like the server side code, and then it gets the sale from the request, it adds the ID, it adds it to the sales list, and then this just sort of appends it, and then it turns into a JSON, then sends it back. And then the delete sale route, it's essentially the inverse of the save sale route. It gets the ID from the request, right, sent by the Ajax process. Then it finds and removes the sale if it's there. Then it returns the updated sales, and yep, that's about it. Thank you very much.